Well, Cyclone, what have you done, guys? Beating Spirit third time in the year?
Yeah, I think for us it's a pretty good matchup. I think once these two teams go at each other, we see some amazing Counter Strike. I think and also hope the fans fought that today.
I really want to know what you've been talking after that Mirage because I think you lost some crucial rounds that you shouldn't. How did you come back after that?
First of all, the comeback is also is our resilience. You know, coming back like that in this game and also in previous games, it takes a lot. And I think the guys have grown a lot now also to be able to do it on a stage like this. What we talked about between the maps is that we do find ourselves in a lot of decent situations. We have good looks on the game, 4-on-2s, 3-on-1s, and often we have a read where everyone's going and we're just a little bit slow at piecing it together or we're a bit stressed out. And especially the being stressed out in clutches was something we talked about between maps. How can we slow it down a little bit? How can we use our tone of voice to stay calm, even if the moment is very exciting? We did that on Dust 2, and also we maintained good protocols. And I think that's why we could pull it to a third map.
I want to go back to that Mirage because you lost quite cold, losing those 5-0 at the beginning, but then everything changed. Maybe it took some time to get used to the stage. What happened at the beginning?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think they just had a really good start on their game, and sometimes it's like that. You know, you don't get the pistol, you try and force into it, you're not winning. They get the first buy round, and it will look like it's one-sided. I think you could see that we did come in with some game. I mean, the first, second buy rounds we grinded out. We get to at some point we're winning 4-1 if you exclude the first part of the round. So it was a competitive first half, and definitely the start of the game. We're not always going to be allowed to have such a sloppy start. We need to be better. It's for sure.
I don't know if it was the whole first half, but at the beginning, like Spinx was out of comfort. Is he that crucial? Like he ended the match almost with 33 kills, but he was like 2 or 3 just at the beginning.
Spinx is crucial to the team. I think anyone at some point could have a rough half, but it's important not to let it get to you and keep finding an area where you can make an impact on the game. If it's in communication or if it's in utility, giving overview, maybe being a little bit unselfish, focusing more on the utility. I think Spinx is also for us has been instrumental this year, also this season. In a game like this, he sometimes takes over, and it's clear he has a little bit more maturity to his game. Also, as a person, he's more calm. He doesn't let the moment get as much to him as maybe it does to someone else, and we're benefiting from that. So,
but then there was a 1v3 that I think Magic's won in the overtime. You remember that round?
It was Shiro, no? It was one of those two.
Shiro,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's also Shiro's game. He's really good at those, and annoyingly good sometimes. And there was a lot of back and forth, and it's important to, if that happens, we need to stay objective. How are we going to get into a situation like that again? What do we need to do now in the next round? What are the key things we talked about that we need to emphasize on again?
And how was the mood after Mirage?
I think it was okay. There was a feeling that we let it slip. It was a map that we could have won, should have won, but we didn't. And that's the truth. And we needed to look at what put us in a good position. It was the protocols. It was that we're creative with our information. We're putting a little bit of pressure on them, and we're always reading where the game was going. It's just about the mid rounds. We need to win some of the clutches. So first of all, let's get to those positions again. Then second of all, let's agree when we get there, what's our approach going to be? How are we going to react this time?
You knew Spirit were going to pick Dust 2.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it's real that usually you prepare more that map than yours.
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, in this Viso scenario, at least for us, it was quite obvious where it was going to go. I think maybe for them, they were thinking, do we want to take it to Nuke or Ancient as well? Maybe even Train, also because we won earlier in the tournament. So I think they were thinking a little bit what could happen. For us, it was quite clear. And with the 3 days you have, you need to make sure you're prepared for everything. For the players, even though, okay, we could prepare 5 maps, just going to stick to the core things like we usually do. There's no reason to overcook them with a lot of input. So just stick to a few good maps, usually our map pick, their map pick, maybe a guaranteed third one, but yeah, I don't know if maybe it answers your question. Yeah.
Well, at the last map in Nuke, probably this was the pretty opposite thing I was used to with Brolan, for example. No, he was a rifler doing a lot of infantry frags with Nip, for example, but he just made 3 kills. How can you win with such a low score?
We have an amazing team, and we will be able to do that. I mean, he also called a pretty good game, I must say. It wasn't easy to break through that defense. You're up against Shiro, you're up against Donk. They favorites in the matchup start on the CT side. They get a lot of confidence going. You need to crawl your way back into it and somehow find good T rounds to get the team to a position where, okay, we have enough on the T side. Now we need a CT pistol. Now we need to grind it on a CT side. And he did put us in that position. And sometimes it's the calling, as I said. Sometimes it's that in the moments they pop A on Nuke, he's aggressive in hot, he blocks them, he gives enough time to the rotation to come heaven or come main, and we collapse as a team. And I think he, in those moments, had a lot of impact. Maybe the kills don't show it.
Probably I'm redundant, but I would like to summarize what was the key to win this quarterfinal.
Team effort. I think in terms of the preparation, and also that the team believes so much, and we still, even for playoffs now, have the energy to stay resilient, stay poised.
Because, man, you've been struggling a lot during stage 3.
Yeah. I mean, if you're right, if anything is shown from that, it's that we can be competitive against anyone. Probably also on Saturday is going to be a fight.
How much better for you is to have tomorrow free and facing Vitality or Navi, and they are not having this free day? What is the
I think it's an advantage to have an off day. You can recuperate some strength and energy. You can spend a little bit more time looking at the game, preparing. I also, on the back end, we knew it was an advantage. It's unfair. And we told Blast straight up here, I don't think it should be this way. I look at your last major in Copenhagen, same side of the bracket, play on the same day. It's just equal for both teams, and they decided not to do it this time.
Maybe this is the confirmation that anything can happen during this major, or it's just a confirmation about those wins before against Team Spirit. It's like they're your sons now.
No, I wouldn't put it like Spirit is a great team. I think it's more a confirmation that this team is very competitive. This team has grown a lot also on the stage environment. And there's going to be no game where we're ever going to give it to someone. We will always put up a fight. And if you want to beat us, you need to be at your A game.
Congratulations.
Thank you.